Alright, now for my first official manga review. For my first real review, I'm going to be reviewing Old Boy, also known as Old Boy Review 2, The Search for More Viewers. I know I already reviewed both of these already way back, but I feel like my review skills have increased tenfold. And those reviews were only like 4 minutes max, and didn't write a script for them or anything, so I feel I didn't really do them justice. Not exactly what you call a thorough review. So I decided to do both of them again in their own videos. That way I could give each one the review that they both deserve. So let's get right into the review, shall we? I'll begin with the overall story. The main character Goto is imprisoned in a secret prison in a 10 by 10 room with only a bed and a TV for 10 years, where he trains his body for combat so that he can exact his revenge on the people who did this to him. In the movie, he is in prison for 15 years. After this time, he is set free to find out why he was in prison for all that time. The first thing he does is pick a fight with some teenagers to try out the martial arts he had learned during his imprisonment. He begins searching for the guy with a solo manhunt and quickly meets and falls in love with a girl named Eri. The villain character confronts him a little bit after this and challenges him to a game. The rules of the game are that Goto has to figure out why he was imprisoned in a kind of mental Mortal Kombat. If you cannot figure out the bad guy's motives, then he dies. If he can figure out why, then the villain will die. As he tries to recover his lost memory, he gets other people involved to try to help him, but it ultimately comes down to just the two of them. I feel the story in the manga isn't nearly as compelling as the movie. Now for the other aspects of the manga. I'm going to be talking about the art and writing a little more than might seem necessary, but in a manga, there is no voice acting to grade, no music, and no animation to grade. In manga, you've got only two things that can really be experienced, and those are the art and the writing. So I'm going to spend more time talking about each. For one, the art is really good. Not quite as good as Battle Royale or anything like that, but the art does capture a feeling of gloom and dread. Most frames are filled with dark areas and cramped, dark interiors. It gives you a real feeling of claustrophobia, as if the end of the story in the game is drawing near, which I thought they did very well. The characters are also drawn in a more realistic style. There are no little lines for noses or eyebrows. It really makes the characters come off more realistic and expressive than a lot of other manga. Although most male characters have large bulbous noses, which is a little off-putting, but by the third or fourth chapter you probably won't notice anymore. I sure as hell didn't, because I was pretty enthralled with the story. The writing is really good too, not like Death Note, because I think Death Note had the best writing I've ever seen in a manga, but it is above most manga that I have read. A lot of times you can feel Goto giving up hope in his mission to recover his lost memory. The character relationships are also quite fascinating in their complexity. There are several characters that are introduced and become so seamlessly interwoven in the narrative that you hardly even notice that they're being introduced, which I found quite well done. I would have to say if you're a manga comic reader, then you should definitely read the comic first, because I truly believe that the movie is superior. Overall, I think I'm going to have to give Old Boy a 6.5 out of 10. The end of me was a huge letdown after seeing the movie. I will say that it is well worth going on the journey of revenge with Goto and exploring his world of treachery and self-deceit. And, well, I had to give it such a low review mostly because the story is a little weak. I was enthralled with it because I'm just masochistic like that. So that's my review of the Old Boy manga. Till next time, folks.